Hello, hi, I'm Kalaneko, and I'm here to provide you with a tutorial on how to get Warudo working on your system. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and log into the system. Then once you are logged into your system, go ahead and boot up Steam. Kind of wait for it to boot up. Give it a second. Your hardware might vary. Then once you boot up Steam, go ahead and go to the search bar and type in Warudo. And then on the Warudo page, make sure you redeem and add that to your account. Once you add it to your account, you can go to your library and you can then download it. Once this is downloaded, what you can go ahead and do is you can go ahead and close out Steam. Then what we're going to go ahead and do as well is we're going to go ahead and open up the web browser. Don't worry about these application crashes, that's fake news. Then in your web browser, what you're going to do is you're going to type in the Linux guide to VTubing, or you're going to follow the link that's already here from what I have. And you're going to grab Spout 2 PW. You will need this if you want to have Spout 2 to go through correctly on your OS. You want to make sure that this is updated, because this is in direct relation to Warudo being needed to be able to have it run correctly. Especially as far as having as little overhead as possible. Then what you're going to do is you want to click on Releases, and it will take you to the latest release. Go ahead and download Spout 2 PW. Once you download it, go ahead and extract it, and go ahead and rename it to just Spout 2 PW. Then you're going to cut it. You go to your home folder, and you're going to get rid of the old folder, and you're going to add the new one. Once you add the new one, what you're going to go ahead and do is you're going to go ahead and go to the description of this video, or you're going to go on to the guide itself, and we're going to go to Madeli's implementation of the TKG Proton. It's TKG Proton Experimental Lena Unity Leak Patch, Valve Proton v4 Rev 2. You're going to go ahead and grab the Proton Experimental Lena Unity Leak Pit Patch Valve Proton v2 tar.gz. Go ahead and download this. Once you download this implementation of Proton, you can then go to your folder, go ahead and extract the folder, and in this folder, you will see where they have made these various changes. Go ahead and right-click the folder itself, the root folder of this Proton, and click on Cut. You're going to go to your home folder. Now, if you are on a flat pack version of Steam, you're going to go to Var, and it even tells you here, App. You're going to go to where, the Steam flat pack, and then it's .local share Steam compatibility tools. Since I have the native package on Fedora, I'm going to go to .local, share, then there's going to be Steam, compatibility tools. I already have the compatibility tools here, but what you would do is you would just paste one folder and it would go into this folder here. And this is also a folder that would have any other of your compatibility tools. It means anything that you've gotten directly from Proton Plus or Proton Up Qt, or just the regular Proton versions that you would get from Steam. Once you have this downloaded, in which I'll also have Lena's implementation on here as well. Lena's implementation of this Unity League patch would require you to use specific launch options. Again, that might be different, or it might be it might be different. I'm sure Lena can elaborate more on that. But using Madalee's version of this, which I'll have her information linked, as well as the version Lena has, into the description and also into the VTuber guide to update the Warudo section of the guide. And that will be live as of this video. But what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and reboot Steam, because that's what you would have to do after you make these changes. Is you'd actually have to just reboot your Steam client, which in this case, Steam's not even open. So after you reboot your Steam client, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to go to your launch options, which you'll have your spout2pw %command present. You want to make sure that you have this for when you use OBS. In the previous OBS video, I showed you how to install OBS 2pw on the flat-packed version of OBS, which is the recommended version on a lot of distros, besides distros that benefit from the native version the best. Really just depends, your mileage may vary. Also, the flat-packed version of OBS on FlatHub is the official version of OBS by the OBS team, meaning that it will work fine on the Steam Deck, Bazite, and every other distribution that supports Flatpak. Now, this video is mainly for Warudo itself, on how to get it working, and that's what we're going to focus on today. But I will have OBS Studio up, as you will need to make sure that is enabled. And also, the other thing that I didn't show you during the Spout 2 video, which I may have to make a similar video later on, is if you double-click Pipewire Video, you can actually add the Warudo camera, which I already had done it previously just to make sure it works, but I will show you what it looks like when we were done. So go ahead and click on Steam. And then once we go ahead and click on Steam, we're going to go ahead and open Steam up. And Steam should be open. Then you're going to go to Library. You're going to go to Warudo. Click on the cog. Click on Properties. And you can go ahead and, since this could be different, you're going to go ahead and put you're going to copy paste this command here. Should be the spout2pw, or you could use the full path, which if you're trying to get the full path to spout2pw, all you need to do is click on Home, TPC Fedora, spout2pw, and you just copy this entire path. And then you paste it into here, and you include the spout2pw.sh %command % at the end, along with the /, and it will read it. Now what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and put this command here, and we're going to click on Compatibility Tools. Now when you see Compatibility Tools, it's likely going to be saying Experimental. However, when we added the new Proton version to the compatibility layer, it added a new Proton, which would be the TKG Proton Experimental Bleeding Edge Lena Unity League Patch version 4. Go ahead and click on this and make sure that your compatibility toolbox is checked, because you want to make sure that this is being forced on, or just Warudo. Now this could also work for Vignon, since Vignon is also a Unity application as well. And if I need to, I can make a video on it later on, but it's about the same. Which I can double check here if we were to take a look at Fogus Launcher, because this is the recommended way to use this compatibility layer. We could actually go where Vignon's at, and we could actually change it to the TKG Experimental Bleeding Edge. If we were to hit OK, it says this ends up fixing Unity League apps for Unity products. This should just launch it. And it looks like it did. So yes, it is going to launch it. This does seem like it would work too. We're to load an avatar. So I'm just showing this because I'm sure this will be brought up later on as well. Just make sure you click on your slash. Click on home, your file name, your home name, in this case downloads, and then grab mushy. We can add other things later on. It's just doesn't matter. We just gotta make sure this is on here. That would be like the full thing. For some reason, full screen. Oh, full screen's working. It is kind of it is a little buggy, but that might just be how this is being handled. And if I were to take a look here, I can double click and I can add Vneon. So I'm sure you go to menu settings, output, use spout 2. Make sure you have Vneon up and running. Okay, this seems like this would be captured better now. Alright, there we go. Yeah, spout 2 would work with it. I mean, with the current implementation, it would work. But Vneon really isn't like the focus. However, this would still work. But let's go ahead and take a look. Let's go ahead and go back to Warudo. Now with Warudo, what is going to end up happening and what's going to end up doing is you're going to make sure that you have your properties all set. Go ahead and click the launch button. And it's going to go ahead and launch Warudo. Now, it might take a little bit on first launch before it completely launches Warudo correctly. So there may be some time where you have to actually like spend time waiting on it to load, and it's going to install spout 2 as well. If those dialog boxes pop up, make sure you just hit the OK button. But this is going to prevent a memory leak. It's also going to make it to where you can use the Warudo editor. Now, there are multiple ways for you to do capture. And if you're going to end up capturing, you can actually grab XR Animator, which this is already into the guide. But basically, is you go to Butts Young's page or System Animator Online. The most recent version of this is on March 2nd. You just download the file and grab the Linux version. You extract that file, and then wherever you decide to place it, you can actually have XR Animator open. And then when you go to the Electron folder, go ahead and click on the Electron app and hit launch. You'll need this to be able to track mostly your VTuber model in Warudo. Go ahead and hit start. There are some things I have disabled in the past, but what you're going to do is you're going to click on where it says your webcam, make sure you mirror your image or flip it, then choose your camera, go to pose motion, make sure it's upper body because that's what most VTubers use. You can use full body if you want to, and then go ahead and double click on streamer mode. Give it a time, give it a second before it starts to collaborate everything. Okay, and then you could finish and hide your avatar. You're also going to want to click on VMC protocol, and you're going to want to make sure it changes the app mode from others to Warudo. And then you're going to want to make sure it says send camera data, turn that on. And make sure the VMC protocol is also on. Hit done. And if this is the stable version or the latest version that they have, you just click off of it. And then you go back to Warudo. Then you go to your Warudo editor. And once you are in your Warudo editor, you're going to want to click on Onboarding Assistant. On the Onboarding Assistant, click on Getting Started. Choose your avatar. In this case, we'll be using the stock avatar for this one. Hit OK. Configure motion capture. Yes, recommended for me. You will want this in order to have a version of motion capture to be able to be used. So hit OK. Then, do you need to track your full body? You can choose yes or no. Do you need to track your upper body? In this case, we're going to choose yes. Do you have a working webcam? For now, we're going to hit no. This is going to be done through a VMC protocol. Hit OK. Face tracking, VMC. Pose tracking, VMC. And then you can kind of just let it do what it's got to do. And you can customize this if you want to. Hit OK. Hit OK. Setting up motion capture. You can import your expressions if you want to. Hit OK. And then you can choose to have your background to be transparent, or you can have a background if you want. So hit OK. Hit OK. And it's got you set up for that. And what you're going to do is, if you're wanting to enable Spout 2, go ahead and click on where it says Camera 1 and Cinematography. Click on Basic Properties. Make sure this is still saying Transparent. Then go and click on Output. And change this from No to Yes. And then you're going to go to your character, which is then going to be able to track your movements using XR Animator. That way you can then be able to use that as far as streaming is concerned. And this should also show up when you double click on Pipewire Video when you add it. And you change this to the Camera 1. If you have this just on Warudo, it's not going to show anything. Camera 1 is where your avatar is at. So hit OK. And you will have your avatar, or you'll have your VTuber model in your Warudo page. And it will end up allowing you to do a bunch of capture. You know, you can take a look at your model, take a look at any details it might have, which is crazy that this has sparkles. But like, you can do what you need to do, and it will not cause a memory leak. At least very easily. I don't think there's gonna be, I think the memory leak was actually resolved, but if something does change, I'm sure somebody will patch it out. But this is how you get Warudo running on Linux. Now, let's say you don't want to use XR Animator, and you just want to use your camera. This really isn't super recommended, but you can go back to your auto onboarding assistant, click on Getting Started, choose your character, hit OK. Configure motion capture, hit yes again. And do you have a working webcam? We're going to hit yes. Then you're going to choose your webcam, or it's going to be automatically chosen for you. Hit OK. Then on face tracking, you're going to change this to OpenSea face tracking. OpenSea face tracking seems to work really well with that. Now everything else you can kind of just keep the same. You could change pose tracking. We're not going to worry too much about that, actually. Because you wouldn't have pose tracking if you're going to use just the webcam. But for face tracking, you'll want to have your webcam. So you're going to keep OpenSea face open, and you're going to hit open. You're going to click OK. And then it's going to give you a warning. It may not work properly on some PCs. If you encounter any issues, please use MediaPipe instead. Normally that would be the case, but on Linux, OpenSea face is what ends up getting most of these apps to work as far as tracking works and goes. Is that okay? You can import your expressions if you want. You will see a dialog box appear telling you that this is how they're going to be doing the frames. So hit OK, hit OK, and hit OK. Then you also want to make sure that you're outputting the Spout 2. You can go back to your character and give it a moment before it starts to go. Okay, so it's going to attempt to locate it. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just make sure of a couple things. We're tracking on if you want. Go back to the onboarding assistant. Get started. Okay. 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 Change this to OpenCFace. Keep that on MediaPipe. Oh, now it's working again. Say you want to keep post tracking because MediaPipe does work to an extent when it comes to certain things. So it does work. However, if you disable it, it might cause it to where your camera doesn't work, or you may just have to redo the onboarding. But this is just the webcam itself. Give it a second. It's got to restart its thing. It's going to go ahead and set up the motion capture. You can just import your expressions if you want. You're going to see Warudo MediaPipe tracker. That's not going to show you anything. It's going to say loading, but nothing's going to happen. Okay. Okay. And as you see, it says got frame because it is using the Warudo cam. If you take a look at this, this is what ended up happening. This is how people are able to use their webcam directly through Warudo. Anything that says got frame means that it is translating the frames. However, your performance may vary, but it is a way for you to use it. Now, mostly it seems like it's fine. And if it is lagging, it might just because of this computer with how it handles things. But this does seem like it does work, and it does also show up still on here as long as you have Spout 2 enabled. And that is how you get Warudo working on Linux. This is how you properly get it working on Linux. I want to thank Oshinolina. I want to thank Madali. I want to thank Madali and Hoshinolina for solving this ongoing problem. Now, you can choose either implementation of their version of Proton when it comes to the certain patches that they have. I will have both implementations posted somewhere, depending on what's going on. But the main one that I used was the one that Madali had, and it seems to have worked just fine. So we do have that there. It will be updated in the guide before this video is live. And again, if you have any updates on your system, go ahead and update. If you have issues with your system updating, just stay on the version that you're on. But that should be already said. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and maybe subscribe. If you're already a subscriber, just make sure you wait for the bell and click on the bell and make sure that you're able to check to see when my videos are live. If you want to support me, you can show up to my streams. You can follow me on my YouTube and Twitch, or you can also financially support me on Ko-Fi. I also do have a throne as well. If you have any other requests on what we can try to see what we can get working, make sure you put that in the comments section below, because I want to make sure that the community has a way of getting things to work. Because whenever we have Linux VTuber community members or people who are able to fix these issues, I want to make sure that we're able to at least highlight on why these issues can be fixed and why these can hopefully no longer be problems. Hopefully later on down the line, when Proton becomes way more mature and we start having more implementation, that things start to just work straight out the box a little bit more without going through compatibility layers. But as of right now, we are going through compatibility layers for the majority of the things that we do. That being said, it still works, which is really good, and it keeps people away from using Windows 11 as far as having direct issues or problems, in this case with Warudo. And I did show you a little bit of VNeon because I'm sure somebody would have asked. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, just let me know. If you didn't, just let me know. And I hope you all have a good night. And I hope you all have had a good, Easter weekend. And happy Easter, everybody. Bye-bye.